This DJ's so funky, man.
On 3, 2, 1, activate.
This is the RDDC podcast. Welcome to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex coming to you straight from the heart where the vibe is always live. I'm glad to have you here and always with us as you are, because RDDC families know we serve up a slice of everyday life. For any other questions, feedback, or show requests, as always, you can reach us at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com for insights, tips, store apparel, awesome affiliations of what we have, and constant discounts and upgrades to your self-development, spirituality, and so much more. And honestly, I think even saying serving a slice of everyday life is partly true, but at the same time, we're more of serving up a slice of what we really know should be our everyday life instead of the realities that we deal with sometimes out in this world. But let's get back on the intro track. And for any other contact questions or updates or any kind of feedback you want to give, like you have been doing, some of you are signed up to the coaching program, and some of you are on there for free consultations of just knowing yourself better, and some of you are just asking questions pertaining to the show that will be further broadcasted and with special guests coming up this wonderful holiday season, as well as the new year coming in. You can reach us with that email at realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com. That's realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com. Once again, we're going to have our wonderful sponsors from givemeallthat.com that are opening up their grand opening for some of their stores and wonderful apparel and so much more, as well as a few other partner companies that are coming aboard that we love. So, without further ado, I'm glad to be on here with you, and I just wanted to do a little bit of a double dosing of doses, because that's what the Real Double Dose stands for. Double dosing, and I had to put this one out here because it just is resonating with so many people and so many lives, and especially mine, Anthony, Angela, Sheila, Veronica, a lot of us. There's a lot of us feeling that. Natasha, all of us. So this is to everyone out here, and I hope that one, if not all of us, get the sentiments of how to apply this to our lives and the infinite source of all creation for our guiding path and the protection and love that we always need. So let's hop right on in there, shall we? Bada bing, bada boom. Just that simple. This segment is called Prove It to You. I repeat, hashtag prove it to you, or prove it to yourself. Now, I was thinking for so long, which could be hours, days, weeks, months, or years, this is Lex here. I was thinking for so long that, in the books that I've wrote and the people that I come across, I noticed that we all are guilty, which is not a bad thing in some cases, of, how should I say this? We're guilty of proving ourselves or trying to prove who we are. It's almost like we're proving our innocence, or, assume that we're guilty till proving innocent. If we didn't lose weight from a diet that we're doing, we say, oh, well, it might just be some bloating or gas. It might just be I had a couple chocolate chip cookies a couple weeks ago. I don't know. But why are we proving it to someone? Well, it can't be because I've had 20 glasses of water and 3 celery sticks and been to the gym 7 days a week. Yeah, I've been on point, and they're probably looking at us like, what are you talking about? Their mind is so far from anything going on, we don't even know where it begins or where it ends. So at the same time, I find that all of us try to prove it to others before we prove it to ourselves. Now, again, this is a double-bladed sword, because we can't only look at it like, oh, well, I'm proving it to someone else, so this is what they feel and they see me as. But at the same time, what are you seeing and you feel yourself as? How do you see yourself? How do you view yourself? What are you giving to yourself? Because at the end of the day, no matter how much you prove or how much you say, it's not going to be any validation or any merit to yourself. If you're saying you're a millionaire and you're working towards getting to that goal every day to the point where you're obsessed and infatuated for it, okay, not where you're hurting anyone or doing anything that is liable to hurt or affect other people's lives or harm yours, okay, and all that's stipulated with it, but to the point where you're doing the positive and the clear and the very open fields of all the promises given to you and made for you, and all the utilization and tools and everything we have now in this almost over 2017 going into 2018. It's the whole point of proving it to ourselves, because if you want to go to bed, or us whole familians, we want to sit there and prove it to others for what? If you're telling someone that you have a brand new lawnmower, but yet your grass is growing crazy all over your yard, and next week you're knocking on your neighbor's door, what will be the point of doing that? Okay, saying, okay, well, like I said, two double-bladed sword. One side, you're saying, I'm going to get that new lawnmower, or I'm going to find me one. Okay, garage sale, whatever it might be. And one's coming. I have faith. I know. I'm praying. I'm looking and I'm digging deep, and I'm putting my mind on a lawnmower will come across me. Now that's one side. The other one is you have no intentions of looking for a lawnmower, could care less about finding one, and you're just telling people you got one for the heck of proving it to them that you, quote, have one. It's just all examples broken down. Okay, let's jump to me. Now, in my case, I have all these things going on so concurrent. I'm telling you, it's so back to back. I feel insane sometimes. I almost feel like I'm like, how, maybe you felt this before. Do you ever feel like you got so much on your plate? It doesn't matter if it's a menu to do and homework later. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you got to rake the yard or go outside. Like, you got so many little steps or little things you want to do that it feels like it would take a month just to think about, and yet you have like a week to do it and implement it. I know. So, Anthony doesn't feel me on that one. Sheila does a little bit. Angela's kind of laid back, whatever. But at the same time, let me just clear my throat on that one because I see little faces snickering at me. Once again, I know how that feels. But I almost feel like I'm almost expressively proving it to myself via them as a mirror reflection of what I'm saying to myself. Now, and this is in my case. Some people might break it or fake it or really doing it, or I don't know. It's whatever prerogative they're living. But I'll say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I have to finish this and I have to finish that. And during the list of it, I'm looking in my mind like, man, Lex, you have like 64% of the things that you need to get done. Yeah, they're out there and they exist. But what are you really working on? What are you really doing? How far are you doing this? If you would have dedicated a whole 7 to 10 days on this project, would you still be pulling it out now, 7 weeks from now? And I'm sitting here looking at, okay, well, I can tell myself, well, I have 20,000 things to do. Okay, realistically, I have 20 to 30 things to do in other business and other things to conduct. I'm very tired from a lot of things I do, even the experimental, being on a time clock issue that I do downtown. It freaks me out, and especially the length of time I've dedicated to something that's not dedicated to me. That's the freakiest thing that I've ever done. But at the same time, everything happens for a reason, and pain and injury and sciatic nerves and tragedies happen throughout that time. But I don't know. It was a path that was taken. So all I know is I think about the things and I don't try to dwell on them, but I find myself not proving it enough to myself. I want to prove myself right, and I want to prove myself wrong, because the little doubts that will always exist in us, no matter how small or big they may be, that I don't know if I can do it. Yes, you can do it, but I don't know. But what if? And if this? But I don't know. Okay. Well, what if this happens? And what if he does this? And what if she does this? And what if they say this? And what ifs and buts are always in the conversation when they were never supposed to be there. Now, maybe you could say, I like the white chocolate cake, or I like the nice winter velvet coat, but I also like the red. Now, it's different ones they're always applying. It's always levels, right? To every level, there's another devil, right? And to every playing field, there's going to be another angel. All I know is that proving it to ourselves is the best way to do it, because it's the best challenge you'll ever have. The only challenge that I see in that, and really in depth, is when we really challenge ourselves to prove it to ourselves. That's what I see. I'm like, you know what, if it gets to a point where sickness may come up to the point, I'm going to prove it to myself that I can be healed. Now, it's not saying that I'm the verification of how those healings or those properties will happen, but it's also saying that I believe in the faith and the hope and the love and the jurisdiction of how they will happen. That's what I'm saying. So at the same time, yeah, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove that the creator of all things is on my side. I'm going to prove it to myself, the faith that I need to hold on to. Not the I'm making it exist by talking about it. I'm making it exist by feeling it and knowing it and having that urgency and all those things that come in it to make those things a real work in progress of what they are. So everything else besides that can definitely be on the road to where they need to be. It's all in the measurement of proving it to ourselves, no matter how far we drift off into it. Because it is us who have to live with the vibrations of where we are. We have to understand that every seed, every plant, every thought, every fruit is always a part of us in the connective tissues on where they come from and where they stem. We were created to be these intelligent, amazing, extravagant, extraordinary beings, and all that comes with it. So no, it's not going to be clear, beautiful blue skies and white puffy clouds and a sparkling sun. There's going to be umbrellas. There's going to be rain and storms. And unfortunately, the natural disasters that happen in the world every day and the natural horrendous things that happen every second. The way of life, the way things are, whether it be an animal running in the street and getting hit, or whether it be a person getting hurt by another or an incident. It's the way it is. But proving it to you, prove it to you. And I say you as in me, and me as in you, and I, us, we, are. Okay? Our and our. It's all about the depth of where we believe it. Do you believe to be? I think that was an episode we just had not too long ago, actually. Maybe it was some months ago. But let me clear that again, is do we believe to be? Do we believe to be all these things that we set ourselves for? It's the same thing as prove it to you. Okay, because the only proof in the pudding is the pudding that you hold with the proof. Let me say that again. The only proof in the pudding is the pudding that you hold with the proof. So whether it be you believe in the healing that's going to take over you, you had to prove it to yourself that you can hold on to that faith. If you know you can finish something, yes, it gives you motivation to say, I like to prove you wrong. That definitely is, but you're proving it to yourself before you ever thought to prove it to someone else. Remember that, because just because they said that little word of doubt, that little obnoxious thing of jealousy, hatred, spite, or just wanting to get on your nerves because they're obnoxious, okay? No matter who they are. The whole point is you have to prove it to yourself. You have to prove it to yourself, but you have to embrace it before you can start proving it to yourself. Because how are you going to be against yourself and before yourself? And I repeat, I don't know all the context and all the word for word, which I'm bad at and different things, but it was saying something. I know it came from the scriptures, but it was saying, basically, two kingdoms cannot stand. If, a kingdom is against itself, how can it stand? So at the same time, it might have been something different from that. If you see it, email me and correct it. I'm not quoting it word for word. But right now, I'm just getting to the point. If you're saying, I can do something, and then the larger part or the other half of you saying you can't, that's a constant struggle. It's an up and down roller coaster. And there's some days that are going to be worse. Some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be up and down. But it's that faith that holds you on and keeps you going no matter what. It's that understanding of proving it. So prove it to you. Prove it to you. But also know that it's going to happen. Also know what you're capable of, how powerful you are, how strong you are, how deep you are, how enriched you are with so much deliciousness. Okay, that's a beautiful word to give. So much fascination of deliciousness that it can only be constructed as the wonderful ambiance of who you are. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to right now specifically, who's hearing this, because the person who hears this to the depths of where it reaches you is the person that it needed to go to in the first place. I don't care if it's one person out of all the thousands of listens that are displayed. I don't care if it's a half a person or a half a mind. 1 equals 1 million, and those 1 million affected are going to reach another 1 million. And like I said before, it's a ripple effect. So by the end of the day, that one person has just changed the world. And I have my part to do in it too. It might be minuscule on different levels, and it might be the grand opera. We don't know. But at the same time, I just want to put that reflection and the whole concentration on prove it to you. We have to be able to know that it's possible, and nothing will ever get into the point of where we're always going to have consistent optimism. Okay, we're in this world, and some people may be able to pull it off for a couple of days or so, but anything with flesh and blood is going to have something stigmated to it. That's just all there is to it on this earth. Okay, so the whole thing is prove it to you. I don't need, we don't need, you don't need, us, we, our. We don't need to prove it to someone else and then, oh my gosh, I can't believe it actually happened. I proved it to them, but you forgot the journey. You just made it to the destination. So when you're proving it to someone else, you're just making it to the destination. You've forgotten the whole journey of why you even did it for yourself to begin with. It's different if you say, I'm going to prove to them that I just made a pot pie. Okay, we can recreate the dough and the peas and the carrots and the chicken, whatever it might be. But when you're sitting here doing something that's drastically changing your life, and maybe it is that pot pie, I don't know. But you can't just go ahead and forget the whole journey of what is. The journey is the beautiful part of it. Because if we all just were born just to reach death, what would be the point of life? Right? If we were all born just to reach death, what would be the part of life if you don't have the journey? Oh, my Lord. If you don't have the journey to reach that destination. Think about that. Really think about it. You're just born and you just, in the blink of an eye, you're dead. Or born enough to have the intelligence of right now. Just maybe live for about a day to a week and all of a sudden you're dead. Just imagine how messed up the world would be. There wouldn't even be anybody born anymore at all, because you would have to speed up the process so fast that you literally have to be born and 2 days later have another child and have them be born. It's completely ludicrous. So proving it to you is something you have to do inside, not to the point where you let everyone pressure you. Okay. Disclaimer. Don't let anyone pressure you or push you into a corner or force you to do things against your own time and your own will. You make sure it's something that you feel like doing, whether it's years or months or weeks, decades, whatever it is. Do it for yourself first. And ask yourself, is it something that you feel like you have to do for yourself? Do you even have to prove it to anyone else but yourself? And do you want it enough to prove it within yourself or have the faith behind it? That's all I'm pretty much getting down to in this one. But I told you it was going to be powerful. And that's how I feel. I feel that energy running through me consistently. And sometimes I have to learn how to ease it down so I won't be too overthetop.com.org.net. But you're worth every single bit of energy that I have and what we're all going to share. This was created for us to have self-empowerment, spirituality depth, inner healing, just thoughts, us coming together as an intelligent form, as what we share with each other. Okay, so what you sow, so shall you reap. And I want to reap the good fruit of the good seed that I believe I'm on the path of always trying to do in my lifetime. No matter how much bad is given to my soil or trying to be shoved down my throat or in my way, I'm always going to try to find a way to give some kind of clarity or some kind of non-spoilage back. It is about, you got to, be the change. You have to feel the passion. You have to embrace the power of the spirit. That is what it's all about. But those words are all broken down in depth to every conversation. It probably take us about 3 segments just to get down to what I meant from those words alone. Yeah, I know. But this is your host. So I just want to leave that with you. Prove it to you. Prove it within yourself if you feel the tenacity and strength behind what you feel you need to prove. Feel it, believe it, see it, and achieve it. And prove it to yourself first, because that's the greatest ultimate thing you could do. Once you've proved it to yourself, there is no conversation of proving it to someone else. It's already proven. And just for the fact that that person would even challenge you already shows enough that they know you could and you can prove it. So don't ever let anyone put you outside your bubble, because all they're looking for is a little bit of extra trouble. You're worth, and you're more, and you're a lot better than that'll ever be. I appreciate this time with you. And as always, thank you for tuning in. If you want to check out any of our cool, wonderful items, our podcast links, broadcast links, anything, the books are the link on the end of the blog of realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. You can check out the book links. You can check out our cool partners and sponsors on there. It's a lot of stuff, and all that is going back to actually helping those who are in caged hearts, those who need a movement. And this is about to be a bigger movement than we all realized. And I'm glad you're on the journey with me right now. So any shout outs you want to give, you can reach us at Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com. For any inquiries, any show requests, questions, anything under the sun, or if you want to feature yourself, if you want to feature a product, anything, we're here to motivate you. If we're just here to be behind you and you motivate us as well. It's a two-way street. And we feel the love, and we hope you feel it too. So as always, this is your host, Lex, always coming to you straight from the heart. And we'll be back with you soon.